All right. So if we look at, all right, if we do it this way, that's not what I wanted. I want that. There we go. All right, if we look at this here, what can we read off this? What's the 100 reading? And what's this one reading? All right, and this is probably the worst graphic I have. These two aren't quite as bad, but this was terrible. All right, so I'm going to give you a couple different variations depending on what you could see. All right, what do you think that says? All right, 622 point. This is where it varies depending on what people think they see. All right, some people think it's on a 9. All right, so what's your guess? Okay. Some people say it looks like an 8. Some people say it looks like it's on the line. So what's your guess if it's on the line? 0. Now, some people say it don't look like it's on the 9. What do they think it looks like it's at? They think it looks like it's past the 8. And what's their guess? Okay. I will take any variation that's like that. Okay. Now, how many numbers are behind that decimal? 2. For your answer to be correct, how many numbers have to be behind your decimal? 2. If you only have one number behind your decimal, your answer is what? It's wrong. Okay? If you don't have either an 8 or a 9 in this position, it's also wrong. Okay? If you got like a 7 or a 6, it's not right either. All right? And number 2, this one is a lot easier to read. What do you have on the middle beam? 100 on the top beam and here. So 153 and then point what? Yeah, it's on the 7. Now, again, is it past the 7? It looks like it's pointing directly at the 7, so your guess would be a what? 0. Now, I do have every now and then somebody who says, Ms. Ball, it looks like it's just a hair past. If you said it looked like it's just a hair past, what would your guess be if it's just a hair past? A 1. And if you said that, I would certainly take it. Okay? Now, the last one. What do you have for the middle beam? 200. What do you have for the top? And for the 1s? And what for the 10s? It looks like it's on a 5 for me too. Now, is it directly on the 5? It's not. So I need a guess. Is it closer to the 0.5 or closer to the 0.6? Okay, so what guess did you give it? 4. Okay, if you thought it was closer to the 6, you give it a different guess. Okay, now, odds are not good that we all agreed with that 4. So you said 2. Okay, at least we got some. Okay, we got some different answers this time. I would expect us to have different answers there. I would be stunned if we all had the exact same answers on this worksheet. Okay, because we really shouldn't have the exact same answers. Questions? All right, so in the bottom, I asked you to do A and C because I broke those a long time ago. All right, what do we know about A? First of all, do we read the top of the line or the bottom? The bottom. So make sure you're reading the lowest point. Okay, so where's the water at? It's on 56. Now, you get a guess. Too often students write 56 and they're done. You still have to give me a guess. If the numbers read the 1's place, your guess is in the 10's place. So point what? 1. You could put 1. If you said it was on the line, you could have said 56 point what? 0.0, which I get often. Now, when I grade your labs this semester, should I get a whole bunch of 0.0s all the way through the lab? No. Everything you read is not going to be on the line all semester. Okay? So, in C, what do we know? 23. And then point, what do you think? I hear 6. I hear 8. I hear 7. All of those are fine. Now, what unit should we put on all of these? Milliliters. All of these should have a milliliters on the end on your worksheet. Questions about anything on the front side? All right, so on the back, I gave you some thermometers, and they're just like the graduated cylinders. They work the exact same way. All right, so in A, what do we know? Is who? 67. All right. 65 is here. 66, 67, and that's 68. So I hear 67. So point what? Okay. Some people might have said it looks like it's on the 68. So what would you put there? 0. Somewhere in that ballpark. I don't think it's 68.1, but if you did, I guess you did. I think it's certainly a 68.9 or maybe even a 67.8, but I think that's a little low too. All right, and the last one for C, what do you have here? All right, so 10.9. And if you were one of the folks who said it's on the line, you might have gone 0.0. Now, our thermometer's reading what today? Degrees Celsius, okay? We don't have any thermometers that read in Fahrenheit. So all of our thermometers are degrees Celsius. All right. Our thermometers are also all red and green. They're all alcohol-based thermometers. I got rid of all the mercury thermometers my first or second year here. All right. So if you break one, they're just going to dye your hands. Try very hard not to break them because we can't replace them. Okay. And I got rid of them so that y'all can't play with the mercury. Mercury is toxic, and it will cause mercury poisoning if it absorbs through your skin. Okay. Sadly, there are schools that still have those. All right. Now, the last thing we need to go over for homework is the front side of your homework paper. And then I'll hand it back to your quizzes so we can see those. For those of you who, well, I shouldn't say that. Generally speaking, I grade very quickly. Those of you who check PowerSchool regularly, with the exception of lab papers, which always take longer, quizzes are almost always graded the same day or the very next day, and they're in PowerSchool. So if you haven't checked PowerSchool, they were in yesterday, I think. All right, so you can usually find your grades pretty quickly. So number 1, how many significant digits? Number 2, number 3, 4. Number 4, 1. Number 5, 2. Number 6, 3. Number 7, 3. Number 8, 4. Number 9, 4. Number 10, 6. Number 11, 3. 12, 2. 13, 4. 14, 3. 15, 16, 1. 17, 3. 18, 2. 19, 5, and 20. Questions? All right. Now, for rounding, I'm going to call out answers that I will take. Number 1, I want 2 significant digits. So you may either give me 5.4, 5.5. 5.5 is the best answer. However, when I told you yesterday I'm not teaching rounding, if you do not know how to round that 5.5, I am not going to penalize you in a chemistry class, okay? Lots of chemistry teachers would. If you don't know how to round it to 5.5, they just mark it wrong. I am done teaching rounding in my old age, okay? So if you round it to 5.4, I'm going to take it because you know how to round the correct significant digits. It's not my fault. You don't know how to round numbers. All right, number 3, you need 2 significant digits. What is the correct number of significant digits there? Rather than y'all all asking me how to do that, and some of you will. 469.72. The first 2 significant digits are which ones? The 4 and the 6. Okay? Now, if you had $469, would you be happy with me if I rounded that to $46? No. So you need that to stay in the 400 range. So you're just going to add a 0 and make it 460. Now, I would take that answer and not penalize you. But that 9 should cause that to do what? It should become 470. That's the better of the two answers. Number 5, you only want 2 significant digits, so 4.0. Number 7 should be 6.2, but if you left it at 6.1, I would take it. And number 9, 4,800 or 4,900. Number 1 at the bottom, we're doing the same thing except we're having 3 significant digits. So 1.44, or I would take 1.43. Number 3, 0.0308. Number 5, 424,000. I would take 423,000. Number 7 is already in the right number of significant digits. It's just 0.317. And number 9 only has 2 significant digits, so I need to do what to it? Add a 0. So 0.760. Questions about anything on either of those 2 sections? No? Yes? No? Yes, ma'am. You said 3 and you said what? Number 3 in the bottom section? 0.0308. Just drop off the 2 and the 1. Okay? Because this 0 is not significant. That 0 is not significant. And these would be your first 3 significant digits. Is that the one you wanted? Or did you want a different one?
No, that was the one.
That's the one you wanted. Okay. Does that make sense? Or no? Are you with me, Denasia? You sure? Okay, because this one's a billboard, so that billboard doesn't count.
I was just asking, like, if I was surrounded with 0 to 1, would you turn around?
This,
Yes.
if you wrote 0.031, yes, because you only have how many significant digits? 2, and the question wanted how many? That question wanted, yes, because the question wanted 3, and you've rounded it to 2, so I would mark that wrong. Okay? Yes.
So if we did round it to 3.1 and then we put 0, would that count as right? Like if we added the 0 to that, would it count?
You would technically have 3 significant digits, but why would you round it up to that when all you got to do is drop off those last 2 numbers?
I mean, I did it, but I was just wondering.
It would depend on the mood I was in when I was grading.
It like cost my mom when I was doing it.
This is why a lot of times I don't take off for rounding, because y'all do the craziest stuff with rounding. Okay? I don't understand why you would take, all right, I don't know why that happened, why you would take 0.0, it was what, 30821?
Yeah.
These numbers are both less than 5. Why on earth would you take them and then take this number and round that number? Just drop them away. Make them go away. I don't understand. So, I mean, I guess it has the right significant digits, so I probably wouldn't because I'm grading significant digits. But try not to round overly much. Just drop stuff off, okay? Just make it go away, okay? This is why a lot of times when I get numbers off calculators, I just don't round because y'all don't round right. So I quit rounding years ago. It's less confusing for some of y'all. Other questions? No? Fabulous. You need a writing utensil. As in a pencil, pen, nothing else. This side of the room will be done by the time he gets to that side of the room. Come on. 7. There you go. Write your name at the top. First and last, please. This is super easy. Tell me the number of significant digits. You do not have to spell the word 1. You can just write 1. Or 3. You do not have to spell it. T-H-R-E-E. Huh? You can if you have to. But you literally can just write the numbers. And when you're done, flip it upside down. I'm following all this crap. Not too great. I want to accuse anybody unfairly. All right, so anybody still working on overlooking? Anybody? All right, pass them to the front. Just the front of your room. You're fine. All right, let me hand out yesterday's quizzes so we can look at those. I'll do mine up. Yours could be. You don't want to go by your other name? How am I supposed to know if you don't ever tell me? Eventually? What, the end of the semester?
Yes,
Well, that's good. That's a genius move. We're just supposed to what?
Divine intervention. Figure it out that way. Because I'm smart.
Yeah.
Tell me at some point if you want me to call you something else. Anybody else want me to call something else?
No, just call me Tato.
I'm not going to take it. I mean, Ollie won't even tell me how to pronounce her name. I'm gonna have this guy outside the room. There you go. Alright. Alright, so look at it. And now work anything you have a question on. Now, I told y'all, and Caroline asked, well, are those SI units on the quiz? And I said, what? Yes. And I don't know how many of y'all got all three of them wrong. Jada, put that phone up.
I was shaking my brain.
Oh, don't worry about that right now. Alright, remember, one quiz does not affect your grade. We got a whole quarter. By the time we finish the quarter, y'all have 20 some of these things. Okay, so don't get upset if you have one grade that you didn't like. Okay, got a long way to go. So, I tell you, SI units or something like that's on the quiz, look up those things. Make sure you look at them. I know we spend more time on the math. However, that other stuff still counts too. So when we take the quiz next week, which will probably be about Friday, if you didn't do too well on the SI units, make sure you know what the SI units are. Some of the common mistakes that were made were like number 6. No, not 6. Or is it 4? I don't know how many of y'all didn't know centimeters cubed and milliliters were the same. Y'all drew a chart, y'all went 1 to 10 and multiplied by 10. Okay?
So my number 4?
Yes. Centimeters cubed and milliliters cubed are the same. You didn't even need a chart. All you had to do was tell me it was 65.4 milliliters. That's it. Okay? 6 was a commonly missed one. Centimeters cubed and milliliters are the same, so you would have just changed liters to milliliters. But I'll work any of those you have. 9A. What's the SI unit for mass? Kilograms. What's the SI unit for temperature? Kelvins. And I'm thinking there's only one person who got 9C right. What's the SI unit for volume? Meters cubed. Okay? So, if you didn't know those, make sure you know them for the test. Does anybody need to work anything on the quiz?
Is there a test Friday? Is that what you said?
It will be probably next Friday. It's my best guess, based on where we are today. Any questions? It could be Thursday though. Don't let me not rule out Thursday. Thursday or Friday next week. All right. Nobody needs me to work anything.
Number 8.
Number 8. For a second. So what 8 says. All right. So number 8 says define the volume. All right. So you have a mass of what? You have what? 65.3 grams? All right, and you have a density of what?
4.36 grams.
Okay. So, what are we going to do to solve? What I tell you to do anytime you have a problem like this. I'd cross multiply. All right, put a 1 here if it makes you happy. 1 times 65.3 is 65.3. 4.36 times V is 4.36 V. Now, how do you get V by itself? By?
4.36.
Exactly. So V will equal 14.9. Like that. Anybody else do one? Number 5 says you have 23.56 centimeters cubed. So we're going centimeters cubed to meters cubed. Who's bigger, a meter or a centimeter? We're going to put a 1 there. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. A meter is on the baseline. So how many spaces between a meter and a centi? So 1, 2. 2 zeros and a 1. Now, because both of these units are cubed, we have to put a 3 there and a 3 there. Now, multiple people got that far and did the calculator work wrong. So if I wrote -2 this with a calc,
label, that means the chart's right and the answer you wrote down is wrong. It means you punched it in wrong. Okay? So when you go to punch that in your calculator, you need to say, all right, 23.56. 23.56 divide 100. Now, what's that 3 key? What did I say that was? That's that up, that caret key, that up. So caret key up 3 and enter. Now, when I do that on my calculator, I get 2.356 and I get an E with a -5. So I'm going to change that to scientific notation. 2.356 times 10 to the -5th. And then I'm going to write m cubed on the end of it. Okay?
So if you put 2.356 -5 is wrong.
Yes, you have to change that to scientific notation. So your chart's right, but that -5, you have to change and write times 10 to the -5th. All right, we got to go out and do a fire drill. So everybody remember to go out by the big tree. The side door, yes. Follow Alex. Follow Alex.
I missed it like a very end. I messed up.
Straight out towards that big tree.
entire side is still standing out here. Al just went in and checked and whistled before I got your text.
Oh, yeah, come on back in. Oh, yeah, we've been back in.
Next time you have a fire drill, send me a text when it's time to come back in. We're just standing out here begging.
Oh, my.
No.
Oh, it's an emergency. I gotta wipe off my face over
Everybody down.
I had 15 minutes to stand out in Nebraska today.
Yeah, we've been.
Hope y'all want to watch a little bit of YouTube tonight from home. Because we just lost part of today's lesson. All right. So, did I finish what we were doing on that? With the quiz, going over the quiz. Anybody have questions? Fabulous. Somebody hand out the lab paper for me. Because now we have homework we're probably not going to get to that you have to watch on YouTube. We'll see what we can do. See if we can work quickly on this so we don't have to watch YouTube. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, working quickly.
Huh?
I'll work slow.
Okay, so y'all just have to watch last semester's YouTube, a snippet. I'll tell you how you're going to have to go to the website, and I'll post a snippet of video you're going to have to watch on how to do calculating with significant digits. Now, for the lab, while Angel's handing out the paper, all of the supplies are at the counter with the exception of the thermometers. The thermometers are on the back counter. They have little red pieces on them, so if you lay them down, they will not roll off the counter. If you leave them sitting in a beaker full of water and you accidentally hit them, they will fly off the counter and shatter, okay? Be careful with them. You do not need to leave them in the water long, no more than a minute, and then you can read them. Most likely, they're not going to move much because the water is at room temperature, so the thermometer is at room temperature. So don't be shocked if it doesn't move up and down very much. Now, the only other thing I have to say is when you put water in something and you're done, turn and dump the water out. I should not have to go back over there and tell you to dump stuff out. Make sure the graduated cylinders are up close to the sink. Do not leave them out here on the edge of the counter so everything is back up there close. Take the cover off the sink, set it off to the side, and when you finish, put the cover back on the sink. Now, when you need to turn the water on, the gas is off. The entire room is gas-free unless I turn it on, and I'm not planning to turn it on. One of the improvements with the renovation, the gas used to be on all the time. Now the gas is off all the time unless I turn it on. When you turn the water on, do not turn it on so it sprays like that. Everything is going to get wet. If you turn it on really high like that and you stick a beaker or a graduated cylinder under it, it sprays everywhere. Everything gets wet. Yours get pissed. The clothes are wet. The papers are all wet. I have one spare copy. Okay? May 22, there's 21 people in the room. So don't do that. Turn it on gently. And then you can put the beaker under there. You can put water in it. Nobody gets wet. Okay? You can dump it out. When you're done, do not mash the handle flat. Okay? That one's down too far. I can tell looking at it. See my chubby hands? I should be able to stick my chubby hands under it. Okay? It's off. It might drip a little. It's okay. But there's a mechanism in here that will break if you mash that thing flat. Okay? So, stick it under there. And if your fingers will not fit between the handle and the counter, you've pushed it down too far. All right? So when I walk over here, I can tell yesterday's fourth period class to not follow my instructions because I can tell this one's down too far. Okay? They do not need to be mashed flat. Everybody got it? We have one group of 3, because there's 21 people. One group of 3. Singular. Everybody got it? Got it. You're going to take your partners. I won't do it today. Oh. Don't make me have to divide you up.
Always doing that.
Let me see if I can find a paper towel and grab that back camera. All right, there's two left there, so you do on one side. Okay? It doesn't matter. You can stand, you're not that lazy. Run for cross country, for God's sake.
Oh my God.
All right, so there's one there,
Miss Robinson.
there's one over there, there's one over there. All right, why do I have a group 3 there and a group 3 here?
Miss Robinson question. Was it the 250?
So did I count wrong and there's really only 20? I swore there was 21. Annette, who are you working with? Right there. ABL is a lovely student. You will love to work with him. I was going to be on that. Was it just steer around? Checking out paper towels and going away.
Yeah, that's yeah. I thought that.
It's not right in the middle. I didn't tell you. Well, it's 40. I'm pretty sure. Is it 40? Divided by 5.
This a little more. When you give them what's and then you try. This is approximate. How about I think I should? No, wait. I would say like it's more.
Miss Wall, yeah, the question, what does it mean about acid water?
If you know the beaker by itself, and you know the beaker and water together,
Okay,
what do you do?
The mass of the water.
Hey, Lucas. That's fine. That's fine. Go right ahead.
Let me show you doing.
Sure. It doesn't bother me if you sing, but I know y'all are shy.
Yeah. And then I just get 9.
And the next one is,
What was the other name?
yes, sir. They're looking at. Oh, yeah.
Day one, I came in, I said I came in late.
Yeah. What? And you read it in the water. So if you read it in the paper, it'll graduate something.
This view, they're talking about some BB Spanish with this A section.
Yes.
It's not, So now put 150 milliliters of water. Place them all in the
I don't know if it's like
50 milliliters. 150 milliliters.
in order to find out.
All of you say that.
Yeah. Do you what?
We have to show our work on our site.
No. So you just gotta write the answers in the data table.
Yes, you just measure it. That's for water. I mean,
That's like
Okay, so the thing is one. Is that?
Oh, no, she told me.
Why do you use that?
Did it, what was the question?
I didn't see water.
What's that?
That's volume. You know, so it's equipment over there to read volume. It's equipment when you use to read volume. It's equipment we use.
Oh, there's still.
Which one?
Yeah.
Exactly. You're not gonna
Oh, yeah.
Ms. Wall, after we finish, what do we do?
Bring it up here and set it. Set it in this chair.
I think we went down.
Back in the, pick it back.
Back there?
No, leave the equipment, physical science.
Should be like 11.
Yeah, I know.
No, that was yours that I was returning to. Remember, I borrowed it. I didn't want to give it back.
And once our group in the back finishes, we're going to talk about rules for calculations, I hope, so that y'all don't have to watch YouTube. It's supposed to be 9:55 if they ring the bell right.
Mr. Cross was yelling at everybody in the hallway yesterday.
Well, it's supposed to be 9:55 according to the bell schedule, but they keep ringing the bells at the wrong time.
She's like, go back to class.
I was like, I'm not walking all the way back.
I said, I'm here.
Got my grandma going.
Well, last year, it was supposed to be like a 9.
Last year was 9:50.
Why did they change it?
Well, they're still doing grab and go, but see, last year, first period was the shortest period of the day. We only had 90 minutes. Second period was like an hour and 45 minutes. It was like 115 minutes, 105 minutes. And then the other two classes were 95 minutes. And so they've made first period 95 minutes, like third and fourth period. So second period is still like 5 minutes longer than everybody
Okay,
else.
yeah.
So they're trying to equalize first period, because first period was always 5 minutes short, which I appreciate. But, you know, ring the bells at the right time. I mean, yesterday, third lunch, never had a bell. I finally left my lunch till 1:27. I was gonna say, I'm getting ready to yell at that back lab group. You got water and stuff, you got thermometers and stuff, I bet the cover's not on the sink.
He dropped it. Who is making that dough?
Yeah.
They say like how
I mean, just how many places behind them, like how many numbers behind them.
like if it was 20 or 20, I always kind of like the 2 places.
Yeah, so,
I like that. Yeah.
yes.
It was like little balls. That was, no, something else. It was called something else. It was a quinoa. That was.
All right, whose lab sheets am I still waiting on? Yeah, you gotta turn them in. If you don't give them to me, I can't grade them.
No, it was something else. No, that was another.
Stick them on the chair.
No, it was like.
You want to ask for your shot?
It wasn't even based on size, it was just. I thought it was gonna be like the old, like.
All right, do I have everybody's paper? All right. Now, we're supposed to have until 9:55. If we do, we have enough time to do this topic so that you don't have to watch YouTube. Now, Caroline asked the other day, how many places to round behind the decimal or before the decimal, or how did I know how to round off numbers? And a lot of that for me is just intrinsic because I've done it for so long. Now, you have to learn the rules to be able to round so that you do it correctly. And the rules for that are based in significant digits, which are the rules that I taught you yesterday, and nobody failed the quiz. The lowest grade we have is a 70. So, rules for calculations. The first one we're going to learn is adding and subtracting. And I can uncover that because there's nothing there. Now, we add and subtract in chemistry class very rarely. So if you're one of those folks who gets confused by the rules, this is the one I tell you to forget. Okay? The second one we're going to learn is much, much, much more important. But for those of you who want high grades, you need to know them both. But this one is much less important. So when we add and subtract, we round to the least number of places behind the decimal. So we're not using anything that we learned yesterday to add and subtract in chemistry class, right? You're using skills that you learned in math class in elementary school because you're rounding to places behind the decimal, and you learned about decimal places in elementary school. So, if we're adding a number like 12.54 plus 14.2 plus 16, okay? Everybody in the room can punch that in the calculator and get an answer. But we want to round that in chemistry class to the correct significant digits. Now, if I punched it in the calculator right, it's 42.74. But that is not rounded to the correct significant digits. Now, according to the rules for adding and subtracting, we need to round to the least number of places behind the decimal. So we have to examine each individual number. How many places are behind the decimal here? There are 2 places. How many are behind the decimal here? There's 1 place. How many here? None. Okay? So, what is the least number of places out of those 3 numbers? 0 or none, right? So, that means for our answer, we're going to round to none. Okay? We have to round our answer to having none, no 0, or no places behind the decimal. Because the least number of these was none. So our answer has to have no places behind the decimal. So what am I going to round my answer to? All right. Some of you know how to round. And you're going to say, oh, that 7 makes that 43. Those of you who are more challenged with rounding, what I tell you to do? Just drop it off. Okay? So I will take 43 or I will take 42. Okay? I will take either one. Don't do anything squirrely and start trying to round that 7 up to an 8 and bump it up to 44 or any weird stuff. Okay? 43 or 42. Either one. It's fine because you've dropped off all the decimal places. Everybody with me on that? All right. And we're going to practice a couple more. I just want to get through the rules in case they do something weird with the bells today. So, the second one. Just checking while you're writing. Did everybody give me a lab sheet? I can't grade what you don't give me. You have to give me a paper for me to grade. Okay, so when we multiply and divide, this is what we will do 95 to 99% of the time in my class. Almost every type of math calculation chemistry has is multiplying and dividing. So we round to the least number of significant digits. This is why yesterday you had to learn the significant digit rules, because multiplying and dividing involves those rules. So if we're multiplying and dividing, and we have something like 12.56 times 0.021. We need to be able to round to the correct significant digits. Now, this has nothing whatsoever to do with decimal places. So, everybody, again, can punch it in their calculator. So, 0.26376, I think is what it said. Yeah. Now I'll even put the leading 0 there. So, when we go to round this, nothing about decimal places this time.
using the rules you just took on the quiz, how many significant digits in the entire number? There are 4. There are 4 significant digits. Doesn't matter about behind the decimal. How many significant digits here? 2. Okay. So you had 4, you had 2. What is the least number of significant digits? 2. So I only want 2 significant digits in my answer. So is this significant? No. Okay. So that one is not a significant digit. I can keep it if I want to because it's not significant. What are my next 2 significant digits? So I'm keeping these 2 right there. So my answer is 0.26. Now, if you want to drop off the 0 there, you can because it's not significant. You can get rid of it. But you got to keep the decimal with a 2.6. Yes,
So
ma'am.
if there was like a 7 after the 6 instead of a 3, would you round that to 27?
If you had 0.27, yes, or 0.26, I would take it. Told you, I'm not going to get bent out of shape if you don't round up. Okay? Now, there is one on the test that I do check to see if you know how to round. I'll be honest about that. There is one. Most people will get it wrong because you won't round. But there's only one. But in a chemistry class, you should be able to round. All right. We got supposedly 5 minutes. Let's see if we can do a couple. Let's do one with does each. Let's say we have 452.71 subtract 145.6 and add 112.148. And let's say we have all right, let's say we do those 2. All right. Somebody tell me if I punched in right. Did I punch that in right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what's the rule? What am I doing? I'm doing what? I'm adding and subtracting, right? So I'm using places behind the decimal. So how many places behind the decimal? How many places behind the decimal? How many places behind the decimal? So how many do I want in my answer? 1. So everything in front of the decimal stays. It doesn't matter how many are in front of the decimal. You keep them all. You're only eliminating behind the decimal. So I only want 1 behind the decimal. So I'm keeping that. Okay? So 419.2. Now, if you can round, you should round to 419 point what? 0.3. Questions? All right, so the second one. 142.8 divide 4.75. I get 30.06315, and I'm not writing the rest of it. All right, so from there. All right, what's the rule? Significant digits. How many significant digits are here? And how many are here? How many do I want my answer? The first 3 are what? So 30 is significant. What else? Okay, so I could write 30.0 and that's fine. I would take it. Those three are significant. Decimals written, they're after the 3 and the decimal. Or you should round it to 30 point what? Should be 30.1. But if you can't round, I will take 30.0. Now, for homework, because I got 953. If you look at the back side of last night's homework, I want you to do the odds. Okay? The odd of last night's homework. Everybody got it?
On the back of it.
On the back of it. On the back side. Not the one with the picture. The other one. I want you to do the odd numbers. Okay?